is a space 4X game. It takes a lot less space and a lot less time than most space 4X games.
Okay.
It's small. It fits in most pockets. Yeah. Like that.
Yeah, zip that up.
Yeah. And it takes a lot less time. So 2 to 3 players, it's 30 minutes. 4 players, 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So far, I haven't told you anything you haven't heard before. There's 4X. There's a small, compact, cheaper game. What I can tell you about this game that's different is that when the players play this game, the difference that it makes in the duration is that they can plan and execute their turns very quickly.
Okay.
At the beginning of every turn, the players pick up their expand, explore, and exterminate command cards, and then place them in the order that they would like to execute them. Yeah?
Yeah.
So let's say I did something like this, and then the players flip the first one, and then execute only the first command. So if we did something like this is a good example right here. These 2 players play expand, this player plays exterminate, this player plays explore. Right. So first all the expands are executed, are resolved, and then all the explores, number 2, and then all the exterminates. So for example, if this was the first player, then this player would expand, this player would expand, then that player would explore, and that player would exterminate. Then, another different thing, and this is one of the unique things about the game, is that each command card has 3 levels of efficiency. And that's the efficiency at which your forces obey your commands, basically, and execute that. And that depends on how many of you and your neighbors take that action, plan for that command. For example, in expand, because both of these players pick them, this player will only be able to place 2 ships.
Okay.
That's this player and their neighbor that chose it. If that player had also chosen expand, then this player would only be able to place 1 ship, because both this player and both neighbors played expand. Now, in expand you place ships on the board. You place ships where you already have ships, so for example like so, 2 ships, then this player would place 2 ships as well. So here and here, same spot or different spots. Explore, and this is 3, 2 or 1 fleet movements, allows you to explore the galaxy, move around. For example, that's a fleet, that's a fleet, that's a fleet of 1, that's a fleet, that's a fleet. Exploring would mean something like this. You can leave stuff behind, you can pick stuff up on the way. You can take over undefended planets with it. Exterminate, and this is 3 systems to invade, 2 systems to invade, 1 system to invade. It's how you take over anything that's worth taking over. Okay. For example, in this case, it would be a very simple combat. 2 yellow invade, kill off 1 dies, and they take over that system. Now, in exterminate, you can invade with as many adjacent ships as you'd like.
Okay.
So in this case, yellow could enter with any of these 4 adjacent ships, and they would take over. You don't have to win combat. You can do suicide attacks. You can try to whittle down somebody else's strength. So that's the core of the game. Yeah. But that's not what makes the difference in playing. The difference is made when players are planning their actions. This is the only part of the game that might take time, but it is done at the same time, concurrently with other players. So, when I'm trying to decide when to expand, explore, exterminate, I'm trying to think when the other players need to do that. And in the case of, let's say, a 3-player game, everybody's neighbor. Right. Yeah, and I'm trying to think, okay, he will explore, but will he explore in the first round to have things to explore, expand? Will he have things to explore with, to have things to exterminate, to put him in position to exterminate? Or will he try to land on a different system and then expand from there? Or will he try a sneak attack, etc., etc., etc. And I'm thinking that, he's thinking that I'm thinking that, he's thinking that I'm thinking that, the other player is thinking that, and so on and so forth. Right. Now, when you add a 4th player, my actions, my commands will not affect the player across me, the efficiency of that player's commands. Yeah. Yeah. So, not directly, but this player is thinking the same thing about these 2 guys. Right. And I'm thinking that he's thinking that he's thinking that he's thinking about doing expand on the first turn, but then he knows that I'm thinking that. And he knows that my thinking that will affect the other players thinking that, and so on. Or nobody, they're all dummies and nobody thought any of that stuff, and then just triple thought myself into a corner. Right. Now, at the end of every round, after we execute the first commands, the second commands, the third commands, we do exploit.
Okay.
Exploit in this game is upkeep and scoring.
Right.
In scoring, players choose one tile to score. Must choose a tile to score. Must is important here. Because, yeah, sometimes it will be like this. Blue scores 4 points, one for each level of system. But sometimes it might be like so. Blue will have to score this because that's the best scoring opportunity rather than 1 point here. He will choose this tile, get 3 points, but red will also get 1 point. So that's 1 point to one path to victory.
Right.
Getting points when other players are scoring. And whoever has control of Tri-Prime must again score one more tile after everybody has scored a tile. It must not be the same tile they already scored.
Okay.
So in this case it can actually be a bad thing, because in this case blue is forced to score this one.
Right.
Giving red and green points. Now the other players can counter by taking out Tri-Prime, therefore making blue waste the efforts in getting that additional tile to score in, or wiping out blue from somewhere that was planning to score, wasting blue's effort in getting Tri-Prime, and so on.
Right.
The game takes place over 6 rounds for 2 or 3 players, and 8 rounds of this for 4 players, and then at the end there's a final scoring where everything is scored, we don't pick anymore, including Tri-Prime giving 3 points to whoever controls it at the end of the game. The tiles are double-sided, so there's a B side more overtly marked. Sometimes it's just a little different level and number of systems, but sometimes there's more fun stuff, like there's 2 level 2s, 2 level 2s, like an asteroid belt. There's a black hole, and those do different things. And you can play by mixing A and B together.
Okay.
For much more variable game. And if you can see position relative to other tiles, orientation relative to neighboring tiles, and which side you're using gives you millions, billions, math, part, trillions combinations.
Right.
Yeah? Then we have also created scenarios that players can play. I mean, it could be as simple as you moving one here to play something different, an instant variability. You can make a Milky Way galaxy, like all through one line.
Nice.
But you can follow these and have even more different experiences.
Right.
Sometimes a little bit unbalanced, but it's more of the, if you've played this enough, you can start doing this thing.
Right. Awesome.
And that's about it.
All right, there it is, folks. Pocket Imperium from Passport Game Studios at GenCon.
LudiCreations.
LudiCreations,
Yes.
my apologies.
And Passport is the US partner.
Okay,
for LudiCreations.
there it is.